Good evening, everybody. I am back for another tier list video. Today I'm doing a Dragon Ball Z and Super Movies tier list. It also includes the Bardock and Future Trunks specials, which technically aren't movies. But anyway, semantics aside, let's just get right into it. So first of all, we actually do have the Bardock special. Bardock, the Father of Goku is the full title of it. I actually quite enjoyed this one. Nice little self-contained story. I think it would go in a B, probably. It wasn't the greatest, and technically the story doesn't really have any bearing on the rest of the show, but it was good for what it is, and it just gave us some more insight on Bardock, and Bardock's just a really cool character. So overall, I like that one. Battle of Gods. Now, Battle of Gods I think is actually better than the anime adaptation in Super of Battle of Gods. And the animation's really quality. Of course, it has the bit where Goku's trapped under the rocks, and he's like, "I will not let you destroy my world!" So, just for that, I mean, alone, that's going to get an A. It's really cool. This is Bio Broly. This actually has its own tier below F, because it's Bio Broly, and it sucks. It is definitely the worst of the Dragon Ball films, but, man, it is a real stinker. I mean, I don't really know what to say about it. You know, Broly is a swamp man, and he gets defeated by a big wave. It's really stupid. And not a Kai wave, but just a bunch of water. It is not a good film. I would not waste your time with that one, folks. The BoJack movie. This one is a classic. It was a little slow when I watched it, but, man, but BoJack's pretty cool, too. I think I'll put it just below the Bardock movie. It wasn't amazing, but it was really cool. It was a cool movie. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. It was just cool. Broly's Second Coming. I actually like this one. I might get a little flack for this, but I think Broly's Second Coming is a pretty low A, quite frankly. I think it should be maybe kind of over here rather than right over here, but you know, it's pretty good. It's a little odd how Broly kind of ends up in the ice and stuff. Pretty much all of the Dragon Ball Z Broly movies just have a little bit of sort of gimmick to them that the newer one does not. But I digress. I think it is where it is for now. The original Broly movie, of course, is just a little better than than Second Coming. The original Broly movie just feels like they had more of a story to tell, whereas Second Coming, and especially Bio Broly, feel more like cash grabs than anything. They were like, oh, people like Broly, well, why don't we just milk that for all it's worth? The Cooler movie, Cooler's Revenge. This one I actually really like. This one I think is going to be actually our first Z tier. It feels like the Namek saga again, sort of mixed with the Saiyan saga. I don't know how to describe it necessarily, but it's really good. I like it. Cooler's badass. His, like, makeshift Ginyu Force is badass. Basically, just the whole movie is really awesome. Just like the original Namek saga. I mean, the fact that he gets blasted into the sun, and that's what defeats him in that, is just over the top in a way that only Dragon Ball can be. Dead Zone. Dead Zone, it was okay. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's Garlic and everything. I guess it's set up for the Garlic Jr. arc in Dragon Ball Z, which was a filler arc at that, and not a very good one. I think it'll just get a C. It's not F tier, but it's not great. Dragon Ball Super Broly. Now, this is not only my favorite Dragon Ball film, but as of right now at least, I would say it is my favorite animated film that I've seen. Just, the pacing is awesome. They bring back Gogeta in such a cool way, and the reintroduction of Broly as a canon character now is something that I've wanted to see for a long time, so I'm glad that they finally did that. And I think it's almost a perfect movie, honestly. The only thing is, I guess it drags a little bit in the second quarter, but other than that, it's almost perfect, I would say. Dragon Ball Super Superhero. This one, I mean, oh, I could put it in the bio tier because, you know, it's bio-cell. But I think overall, it was actually pretty good. I think I would rather probably watch it than the Broly Second Coming. I think I'd probably rather watch it than the first Broly movie, actually, too, honestly. But yeah, Battle of Gods, I think, still holds up better. But it's a high A. It's a high A. Fusion Reborn, man, this honestly, I mean, Fusion Reborn and the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie could really be interchangeable here. I think Dragon Ball Super Broly is just a little bit better because it has more of a contained plot. It's movie length. It's not 40 minutes. And it goes on to add to the overall canon, which is something that Fusion Reborn sadly does not do. But Fusion Reborn is still a high Z tier. It is absolutely amazing. I love Fusion Reborn. And if you couldn't tell, of course, both those movies have Gogeta in them, and Gogeta then is, of course, my favorite character in Dragon Ball, so that would probably be why. Lord Slug. Man, I like the Lord Slug movie. Definitely better than Broly Second Coming. I really don't know on this one. I think it's just a hair better than the original Broly movie. Only because the original Broly movie kind of felt a little too rushed and a little plot armory at the end. Not to say that Lord Slug isn't. I mean, he gets defeated by Whistling, which is pretty goofy, but it's like Dragon Ball goofy where it fits. So it's a good movie, and it introduces the pseudo Super Saiyan where his hair doesn't change, but he gets the aura and his eyes turn clear. It's almost like his own form of legendary Super Saiyan, which I think is pretty cool. Resurrection F. I like Resurrection F, but I wouldn't watch the movie over Superhero. I would watch the anime adaptation. So in this case, I like the anime adaptation better of Resurrection F. It's just put together better. I feel like in the anime, it's a little rushed in the movie here, whereas I think Battle of Gods is the perfect length for a movie. But Resurrection F feels like it was made more for the anime. Super Android 13. Man, I like this one too. I'm realizing A tier's getting a whole lot of stuff here. I would say probably... Actually, I think it'd probably be here. Super Android 13 is a pretty good movie. Of course, it has, you know, some memes that have come from it, like, don't you lecture me with your $30 haircut, and all that. But the whole, like, absorption of Android 14 and 15 is a pretty cool scene, and Goku absorbing the Spirit Bomb was really cool. And it was kind of a foreshadowing for the Goku Black saga in Super, where, you know, Trunks absorbs the Spirit Bomb and gets the Sword of Hope and defeats Zamasu, almost. And so for that, I'll put it in A. Alright, next we have the Future Trunks movie, or special. Honestly, put it just a little above Broly Second Coming. It kind of has Bardock syndrome where, you know, it's short, it's condensed, it's in the past to where it doesn't necessarily have an effect on anything. You know, the knowledge granted from it is neat, but it's not, like, required for anything. But, you know, I mean, it's pretty good, and it's interesting to see how Future Trunks grew up and everything. Just that backstory is still interesting. The Return of Cooler. This is another one that I like. I'm going to put this one just a little above. I'm going to put it just a little above Cooler's Revenge, because I feel like it just has more of that Namek Saga feel, like I was talking about in Cooler's Revenge, which I really like. And it makes Cooler seem like more of an insurmountable threat, rather than just kind of Frieza 2, which is still cool, but Meta Cooler, in my opinion, is just a bit cooler. Pardon the pun. Alright, The World's Strongest. This one, I think, is going to be the only F. It just really didn't hit. Didn't really have a memorable villain. I mean, it was the second movie, so that's not super surprising. They were still kind of finding their footing. Not the second Dragon Ball movie, but the second Dragon Ball Z movie. But, yeah, I really just don't have much to say about it. It was just kind of a flop. The Tierlist movie, Fruit from the Tree of Might. I did like this one. I liked it a little more than Lord Slug, a little more than Resurrection F, but not as much as Android 13. So I'll put it right there. I think it was kind of stupid how they explained Tierlist looking like Goku. They said, oh, all low-class Saiyans look like each other, but that's not really true because there's low-class Saiyans seen in plenty of stuff that don't look anything like Goku. So I think that was just an excuse to not have to draw a new character. And finally we have Wrath of the Dragon, and Wrath of the Dragon is actually going to be right up here, just a little under Fusion Reborn. So I mean, these three, any day I would watch any of these. I would also watch the cooler movies, but more so I would rather watch one of these three. And it looks like that'll do it for this tier list. So that is my Dragon Ball Z and Super movie tier list. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like. And if you didn't enjoy the video, leave it a dislike. And I'll catch you on the flippity flop. Have a good one, everybody.